Hello everyone, my name is Ibitayo Ajela Fermi, a 400 level student studying microbiology in Precious Cornerstone University, Ibadan. Today I'll be talking about tuberculosis and drug resistance. My outlines are tuberculosis, causes of tuberculosis, symptoms of tuberculosis, prevention of tuberculosis, then drug resistance. Tuberculosis is a potentially serious infectious bacterial disease that mainly affects the lungs. They are caused by a bacterium called Mycobacterium tuberculosis. People with active tuberculosis disease in the lungs or voice box can spread the disease. They release tiny droplets that carry bacteria through the air. And this can happen when people are singing, talking, coughing, or sneezing. In this case, people can get an infection after inhaling the droplets. This disease is more likely to spread again when people spend a lot of time together in an indoor space, or disease can spread easily in places where people live or work together for long periods. Also, diseases can also spread easily in crowded gatherings. So now I'll be talking about the symptoms of tuberculosis. When tuberculosis germs, when they survive and multiply in the lungs, they are called a tuberculosis infection. A tuberculosis infection may be in one of the three stages, but these symptoms are different in each stages. The first stage here is the primary infection. In this case, immune system cell they find and capture the germs. The immune system may completely destroy the germs, but some captured germs may still survive and multiply. Most people don't have symptoms during primary infection, but some people have a flu-like symptoms like cough, low fever, tiredness, and so on like that. So the second stage is the latent tuberculosis infection. The primary infection is usually followed by the stage called the latent tuberculosis infection. Here, the immune system cell they build a wall around the lung tissue with the tuberculosis germs. The germs can't do any harm if the immune system keeps them under control. But the germs can survive and there are no symptoms in the latent tuberculosis disease. Then the last but not the least is the active tuberculosis diseases. The diseases happen when the immune system can't control an infection. The germs can cause disease throughout the lungs or other parts of the body. The active tuberculosis disease may happen right after the primary infection, but it usually happens after months or years of the latent tuberculosis infection. Then the symptoms of the active tuberculosis infection in the lungs, they usually begin gradually and worsen over few weeks. And the symptoms include coughing up blood, mucus, chest pain, chills, tiredness, pain with breathing or coughing, weight loss, and night sweats. Drug resistant. Some forms of the tuberculosis bacteria have become drug resistant. This means that drugs that once cured diseases they no longer work anymore. This happens because of naturally occurring genetic change in bacteria. A random genetic change in a bacterium might give it some quality that makes it more likely to survive the attack of an antibiotic. If it does survive, then it can multiply. When antibiotic drugs aren't used correctly or the drugs fail to kill all the bacteria for another reasons, the conditions are ideal for some resistant version of the bacteria to get established and multiply. If these bacteria are passed on to other people, a new drug resistant strain can grow over time. So the next thing now is to talk about how to prevent the spread of tuberculosis disease. If you have active tuberculosis, you will need to take steps to prevent other people from getting an infection. So the first one is that you have to isolate at home. Spend as little time as possible among members of your household. Sleep in a separate room. The next one here too is to ventilate your room. Also wear face masks when you have to be around people. And the last one is that you have to use a tissue when coughing, sneezing. You have to use a tissue to cover your mouth when coughing and sneezing.